Have you ever grabbed leftovers from the fridge, placed them in the microwave, and thought you were making a quick, healthy choice? What if I told you that some of those reheated foods could quietly harm your body, increasing your risk of cancer, digestive issues, and even brain damage? In this video, we're going to look at 5 common foods that doctors and nutritionists caution should never be reheated because they can actually become toxic. These are everyday foods you probably consider healthy, but science shows that reheating them can create harmful compounds tied to serious long-term health risks. Stay tuned until the end because you'll not only learn which foods to avoid reheating, but also the surprising reasons why, supported by real medical science. So you can make smarter choices in your kitchen, protect your health, and feel your best every day. Now let's get started. Number 1. Reheating spinach releases harmful nitrates. Spinach is a nutritional powerhouse widely praised for its versatility and health benefits. Whether blended into smoothies, sautéed into stir-fries, layered in lasagnas, or tossed into salads, this leafy green has become a staple in kitchens across the globe. Packed with vitamins A, C, and K along with iron and antioxidants, spinach is often chosen by those aiming to boost their health. Yet, one common kitchen habit, reheating spinach after it's been stored, can quietly turn the superfood into a potential health hazard. The key lies in spinach's naturally high nitrate content. In their natural form, nitrates are not only harmless but beneficial, supporting healthy blood flow, lowering blood pressure, and even improving exercise performance. However, as studies in journals like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition explain, nitrates can change chemically under certain conditions. When spinach is cooked, stored, especially at room temperature or in the fridge for a prolonged time, and then reheated, especially in a microwave or at high heat, a transformation occurs. Nitrates break down into nitrites, which can further convert into nitrosamines. These nitrosamines have been extensively studied for their cancer-causing potential. Research from both the World Health Organization and the National Cancer Institute has linked nitrosamines to a higher risk of cancers, especially those in the digestive tract like stomach and colorectal cancer. Emerging studies also suggest nitrosamines may contribute to neurological damage, potentially worsening cognitive decline, or even playing a role in neurodegenerative diseases over time. The transformation from nitrates to nitroamines is invisible, which makes the danger all the more insidious. This issue matters greatly for older adults since aging bodies are more vulnerable to toxins. As we get older, our cellular repair slows and detoxification becomes less efficient. What might have been a small risk in our younger years can have a much stronger impact in our 50s, 60s, and beyond, especially on sensitive systems like the brain and nervous system. For example, chronic low-level exposure to nitroamines has been linked with inflammation, a key factor in cognitive decline in Alzheimer's disease, according to studies published in Neurology. Consider a familiar scenario. You prepare a large pot of spinach soup on Sunday to enjoy during the week. By Tuesday, you reheat a portion in the microwave. While it tastes fine, the reheated spinach could now contain nitrosamines formed during storage and reheating. Over months or years of repeating this habit, these compounds may quietly accumulate, increasing long-term risks. The solution isn't to avoid spinach altogether. Fresh spinach remains one of the healthiest foods available. Instead, adopt smarter preparation habits. Eat spinach fresh or lightly cooked whenever possible. If leftovers contain spinach, try eating them cold. Think spinach salad or chilled soup rather than reheating. If reheating is unavoidable, use low heat on a stovetop instead of microwave and avoid reheating multiple times. Always store spinach dishes promptly in the fridge and consume them within a day or 2. Knowledge is power. By making small changes like prioritizing fresh or cold spinach, you can protect your body and brain from hidden risks, ensuring this nutrient-rich food remains a health ally instead of a hidden threat. Number 2, reheated potatoes can quietly disrupt your health. Potatoes are a beloved comfort food valued across cultures for their affordability, versatility, and satisfying texture. Whether mashed with butter, roasted with herbs, baked with crispy skin, or simmered in hearty stews. Potatoes are a cornerstone of meals around the world. Yet, a little-known danger arises when potatoes are cooked, cooled, stored, and then reheated, a routine practice in many homes. This process can trigger changes in their composition that may carry health risks, particularly if handled improperly. When potatoes are freshly cooked, their starch is softened into a form our bodies digest easily. But as cooked potatoes cool, especially if left at room temperature, refrigerated too long, the starches undergo retrogradation, turning into resistant starch. In moderation, resistant starch can be good, acting as a prebiotic that supports gut health and stabilizes blood sugar as noted in the Journal of Nutrition. The problem comes when these cooled potatoes are reheated, especially with high heat methods like microwaving. The main concern is their potential to harbor harmful bacteria, such as Clostridium botulinum, the bacterium responsible for baculism. The danger is greatest when potatoes are cooked, wrapped in foil, creating a low oxygen environment, and allowed to cool slowly at room temperature before storage. These conditions make the perfect breeding ground for C. abatinum. Even if potatoes don't smell spoiled, this bacterium can produce invisible, odorless, tasteless neurotoxins capable of causing severe illness, including nausea, dizziness, and in rare cases, neurological complications. For older adults, this is particularly troubling. With age, immune defenses and digestive efficiency naturally decline, leaving the body less capable of handling bacterial toxins. Medical research also highlights the gut-brain connection. Chronic inflammation caused by harmful bacteria or toxins in the gut has been tied to a higher risk of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, as discussed in Frontiers in Neuroscience. So that seemingly harmless act of reheating leftover potatoes may over years contribute to systemic inflammation that undermines both physical and mental health. Imagine you bake potatoes for dinner, wrap the extras in foil, and store them in the fridge. A couple of days later, you reheat them quickly in the microwave. While convenient, this habit may be introducing trace toxins into your body, and with repetition, those effects can add up. To safely enjoy potatoes, follow a few key steps. Cook only what you'll eat fresh when possible. If storing leftovers, cool them quickly and place them in airtight containers. Never foil before refrigerating. When reheating, use the oven or stovetop for even heating, and avoid reheating more than once. If leftovers have been in the fridge for more than a couple of days or show any spoilage, it's best to throw them out. Potatoes remain a nutritious and delicious food when handled correctly. By being mindful of storage and reheating, you minimize risks while enjoying all their benefits. For older adults focused on preserving energy, memory, and long-term health, these small adjustments can make a big difference. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, reheated eggs may release harmful compounds. Eggs are a cornerstone of American kitchens, prized for their affordability, versatility, and rich nutrition. Whether scrambled for breakfast, hard-boiled for a snack, or baked into quiches and casseroles, eggs deliver essential nutrients like choline, which supports brain function, and high-quality protein for maintaining muscle strength. However, a common practice, reheating cooked eggs, especially in the microwave or at very high temperatures, can transform this wholesome food into something with subtle but real risks. When eggs are first cooked, their proteins go through denaturation, unfolding, and reorganizing into forms our bodies can digest easily. This is both natural and beneficial. But when those same eggs are reheated, particularly with uneven or intense heat, further chemical changes occur that compromise both safety and nutrition. 2 main issues arise: the breakdown of sulfur compounds and the oxidation of cholesterol. Sulfur compounds naturally present in eggs can degrade with reheating, producing a rubbery texture and a sulfur-like odor. More concerning, though, is cholesterol oxidation in the yolk. When exposed to reheating, cholesterol can turn into compounds known as oxysterols, which have been tied to higher inflammation levels in cardiovascular disease. According to research in the Journal of Lipid Research, chronic inflammation from such compounds is also a driver of memory loss and neurodegenerative conditions like dementia. Nature Review's Neurology further emphasizes that older adults are especially vulnerable to these effects because their bodies process fats less efficiently. Arteries lose flexibility, and brains grow more sensitive to inflammation. Think of this example. You boil a batch of eggs on Sunday to last a week. By Wednesday, you microwave one for a quick bite. It feels like a healthy, protein-rich choice, but reheating has already toughened the proteins and oxidized the yolk's cholesterol. Quietly, introducing compounds that over years can contribute to systemic inflammation and long-term decline. The best solution is to enjoy eggs fresh or soon after cooking. If you prepare eggs ahead of time, eat them cold in salads, sandwiches, or as a snack instead of reheating. When reheating is unavoidable, use gentle low heat on the stove and avoid multiple rounds of reheating. Also, store cooked eggs promptly in the refrigerator and eat them within a few days. If they smell off or look discolored, discard them. Eggs remain one of the most valuable nutrient-dense foods when handled with care. These seemingly small choices, whether you reheat, store, or eat them cold, can accumulate into meaningful health benefits, supporting your energy, clarity, and well-being over the years. Number 4, reheating chicken can trigger hidden inflammation. Chicken is a staple in countless homes, praised for its versatility, affordability, and reputation as a lean, healthy protein. Whether grilled, roasted, or baked, it's often the go-to choice for families, fitness enthusiasts, and anyone aiming for balanced nutrition. Many people prepare chicken in bulk, storing it in the fridge to reheat for quick meals throughout the week. On the surface, this seems convenient and practical. But here's the part that often goes unnoticed. Reheating chicken, particularly in the microwave or at high oven temperatures, can subtly alter its makeup in ways that promote inflammation, digestive strain, and even long-term health concerns. When you first cook chicken, the heat transforms its proteins, denaturing them so your digestive system can break them down more easily. But when you reheat that same chicken, especially with uneven heating, as often happens in microwaves or under excessively high temperatures, the proteins undergo another transformation. They become tougher, more rigid, and harder for the body to digest. For younger people, this may barely register. But as we age, digestive enzymes and stomach acid production decline. Foods that once caused no trouble can now leave you bloated, uncomfortable, or sluggish without realizing that reheating was the trigger. Beyond digestion, science points to even greater concerns. Reheating proteins like chicken can generate compounds known as advanced glycation end products ages. These form when proteins and fats are repeatedly exposed to high heat. Ages are not minor irritants. They've been directly linked to chronic low-grade inflammation, which medical research now recognizes as a root driver of conditions like heart disease, insulin resistance, Alzheimer's, and dementia. To make this more concrete picture, roasting chicken breasts on Sunday, then storing them in the fridge. By Tuesday, you microwave a portion for lunch. It feels fine to eat, though maybe a bit rubbery or slightly off in taste. That change in texture reflects deeper chemical changes. The proteins have been damaged by reheating, making the chicken less digestible and creating compounds that place extra strain on your body. Over time, this repeated stress can fuel inflammation, silently wearing down your resilience. For older, omelets or simmered in soups, they're celebrated for supporting heart health, strengthening immunity, and even lowering cancer risk. But here's the hidden drawback. Mushrooms are unusually sensitive to reheating. This sensitivity doesn't just affect their taste and texture. It can also alter how your body responds to them in ways that may strain your health. Unlike most vegetables, mushrooms contain a unique mix of complex proteins, enzymes, and delicate fats. When cooked fresh, these break down in a controlled way, releasing flavor and unlocking nutrients. But reheating, especially multiple times or at high heat, causes further breakdown. Their proteins and enzymes shift into less digestible forms, which can leave you bloated, sluggish, or uncomfortable. For older adults whose digestion may already be slower, the effects are even more noticeable. The problem goes deeper, though. Improperly stored mushrooms, say, left in a plastic container that traps moisture, can oxidize when reheated, forming compounds that drive oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is one of the key forces behind aging, linked to chronic inflammation, heart disease, memory decline, and weakened immunity. Studies show that oxidized compounds in foods add to this burden, forcing your body to fight harder to defend itself. Think about this scenario. You prepare a creamy mushroom risotto for dinner, rich with oyster and cremini mushrooms. The next day, you reheat a portion in the microwave. Suddenly, the mushrooms are rubbery, watery, or a bit slimy. They taste dull compared to yesterday. These changes aren't just disappointing. They signal chemical breakdown with proteins and fats transforming into compounds that your body struggles with. For older adults already dealing with digestion or immune challenges, these subtle shifts can worsen fatigue, brain fog, or irregular digestion. What seems like a harmless reheating habit can over time add to the body's load of stress and inflammation. So, how can you reduce the risks? First, store mushrooms properly. Use a sealed glass container in the fridge to prevent moisture buildup. If you need to reheat, do so gently on the stovetop at low heat, not in the microwave. Better still, enjoy leftover mushrooms cold in salads paired with olive oil and herbs where their flavor and nutrition remain intact. And if possible, cook only what you'll eat in one sitting to avoid storage altogether. The takeaway is simple. Even small dietary choices have long-term effects. Avoiding reheated mushrooms may seem minor, but it's one less source of strain on your system. By paying attention to preparation and storage, you can keep mushrooms a true ally for your vitality instead of a hidden source of stress. These mindful choices made meal by meal help you stay lighter, sharper, and stronger as the years go by. Final thoughts. As we close this video, I want to thank you for being here and taking the time to learn about the surprising risks of reheating certain foods. Take a moment to reflect. What part struck you the most? Was it the hidden dangers in spinach, the bacterial risks in potatoes, or how something as common as reheated eggs or chicken might quietly affect your health? Perhaps it was the subtle way mushrooms lose their balance when reheated. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.